What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon, the crypto universe. Today is Monday, November 4th. In today's video, we have a lot of content to share in today's video. And this is obviously regarding the DOG Rune token, but more specifically the Rune ecosystem. Now there's going to be a lot of exciting things in terms of tools that are going to be launching pretty soon for runes. And also I want to share with you why runes are at the forefront of every conversation, from centralized exchange listings, from people from different cross chains, and also how very early we are in terms of Bitcoin's allocation, its market cap into DOG. We're going to be looking into numbers at the very end of this video, and obviously we're going to be looking at charting analysis. How is DOG going to perform within the next 24 hours? And why that's important is because tomorrow is the November 5th US elections. How's that going to impact the price of DOG and especially runes? Well, I'm going to share with you my personal opinion at the very end of the video. So let's go ahead and smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page, and most importantly, please be careful of any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email, so please be careful and invest safely. So guys and girls, let's get right into it. So right now the DOG Rune token is hovering around a 340 million market cap. Now this actually hit as close to around 310 million market cap. Now this was actually to our prediction. I'm going to share with you at the end of the video the charting analysis, but let's get into why DOG has actually dipped. Well, it's mainly because Bitcoin has heavily retraced. It used to be at around 70,000, retraced back all the way to 67,000. Now this is because there's uncertainty within the market because of the US elections. People want Trump to win, people want Kamala to lose, or vice versa. Basically, who's the main crypto advocate in this US election? So when Bitcoin takes a dip, obviously you're going to see the whole meme coin market as well take a dip. Look at this. All top 10 meme coins across all different blockchains have gone down significantly. It's not just DOG or runes. So keep that in mind. You always have to zoom out and see the bigger picture of what's really going on. Now let's look at Magic Eden. This is showing you what DOG is doing in terms of its performance on the marketplace. But as you can see here, we've actually accumulated over 200 new holders ever since last Friday. We're almost getting close to a new all-time high count of around 93,000 holders. That is very unique. So while there was an actual dip to around 310 million, we actually saw more holders buy these paper hands, and we're seeing new holders accumulate these bags. Now let's talk about the recent news that's happening within the runes ecosystem, because we want to congratulate Elizabeth Olsen, who is now the head of marketing at Magic Eden. She's overseeing the whole ordinal and rune growth within the mother chain, which is Bitcoin. And there was a recent interview, which I'll put a link on the upper hand side to this exact video. She starts to discuss how the potential for Bitcoin meme coin Supercycle could be coming up with the upcoming Magic Eden rune swap, also the implementation of Opcat, which we hope is going to happen at the beginning of 2025, and also Bitcoin L2s. So this could help bring in adoption for many other different blockchains such as Solana, Ethereum over to Bitcoin and the meme coin sector. She even addresses that very much a fraction of Bitcoin's market cap is only allocated to Bitcoin meme coins. Imagine when we get to 1, 2, 5% of Bitcoin's market cap, it will absolutely melt faces. And also a shout out to Crypto Wendy, which I'll put a link on the upper right side to this specific video. She did a quick mention about runes and ordinals, saying that if you want to get into meme coins, get into Bitcoin runes. Because since tools haven't really been released yet or been live for rune swaps and many other things, that we actually haven't seen the super cycle just yet. And when that super cycle does happen, it's absolutely amazing for people who want to make their Bitcoin portfolio even grow, because with runes and ordinals, you buy, sell, and trade with Bitcoin. So if you end up selling, you get Bitcoin in exchange. So she's saying there's a potential way of making money through that specific strategy. Now, let's talk about other people that have been kind of questioning around runes. Thread Guy, who you know is kind of a Solana maxi, he ended up saying, I am seriously asking why people are still telling me not to fade runes. Fading runes since launch has made me most profitable money-saving decision in the history of crypto. I can't begin to tell you how many people say this who don't know anything about Bitcoin L2s or even Bitcoin runes or even Bitcoin ordinals. They say this all the time, and this is because they actually haven't studied DOG. They haven't studied runes. So the fact that they haven't taken the DOG pill yet, one day sooner or later, once they find out the DOG pill, the runes pill, once they take that, they will not be able to unsee what they see, which is the huge upside of Bitcoin's ecosystem. Now, let's talk about other things. Trevor from Pizza Ninja said the hardest part of getting runes listed on Binance and other centralized exchanges is getting the first rune listed. Now, this becomes 10 times easier. Considering how many different startups are building on runes, it's inevitable that this channel gets opened eventually, and I absolutely agree. But let's talk about these centralized exchanges, because just recently, this person named Simon said, I recently spoke with a tier 1 project that raised close to around 9 figures. After wasting over a year of due diligence with Binance, they finally received a listing offer. And would you believe it or not, they said that Binance asked for 15% of their total token supply. Imagine paying 100 million for just a centralized exchange listing. Not only is this unaffordable for projects, but these tokens are also the biggest reason for bleeding markets. Something has to change. And so Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, who is the CEO, said this: asset listings on Coinbase are free. Drop us a note through our asset hub and we'll see if we can help. And yes, decentralized exchanges are also a great option, which we support in our products. But a lot of people have been kind of wondering, is Coinbase actually telling the truth? Is Binance telling the truth? Now, believe it or not, Justin Sun from the Tron network responded to this whole allegation. He said that Binance charged us $0. Coinbase required us to pay 500 million Tron tokens worth $80 million and demanded a 250 million Bitcoin deposit in Coinbase custody to boost their performance. Lots of respect, but this simply is not true. Then CZ from Binance said this: thanks for the support. Validation from someone who runs 2 different competing exchanges, but we should try to reduce these type of quote attacks in the industry. Bitcoin never paid any listing fees. Work on the project, not on the exchange. Now, this is crazy. We have conflictions between Justin Sun, CZ from Binance, and also Brian Armstrong from Coinbase. All these different exchanges are claiming they're not charging fees, and they're also claiming that other exchanges, their competitors, are charging fees. Nonetheless, the conversation of centralized exchange listing charging maximum fees is ridiculous, and this is why it's very important to study Dog. Dog is here to exploit all these different exchanges on what they're doing. Now, in other news, if you didn't know, Bybit, which is a leverage trading platform, recently announced that Tether, yes, USDT Tether, who owns billions of dollars of stable coins and also of Bitcoin, said this: that Tether has outlined plans to issue a USDT on a smart contract layer above Bitcoin. And with the introduction of Ordinals and runes, a USDT comeback is poised to leverage this growth. So imagine the unlock of USDT's multi-billion-dollar market cap flowing into Ordinals and runes. This is why I say get into runes very early. Pick the right contenders, pick the right communities, because right now the runes ecosystem is like close to around $1 billion in market cap. It's not even close to 1% to the fraction of Bitcoin's market cap. This is kind of crazy. Now just think about this. Just zoom out. Look at the total interest in Bitcoin across the globe. Bitcoin is the #1 asset on all 6 continents, on 6 major continents for that matter. Now, if you look at Bitcoin and you look at Dog, look at Dog. Dog has a 10% increase in South America just alone. Imagine when all these other countries start flowing just even 5% of each country into Dog. Dog is going to be maximized to its fullest potential. This is why I also want you to look at the numbers. Look at what other countries are doing, such as South America. They understand at the forefront of everything before all these other major institutions get involved within Dog. Asia right now is actually getting into runes very recently. They've understood BRC20 tokens, but also understood the underperformance of BRC20 tokens. Sooner or later, not just only Asia, North America is starting to start understanding your runes. Now let's fast forward. Let's talk about the US elections. This is the most important thing that's going to happen within the next 24 hours. Now, what do we need to pay attention to? Well, typically, Bitcoin always takes a dump right before the US elections. Just look at the 2016 and 2020 elections. There was always a dump, a massive dump, before we saw a massive pump to the upside. Now, for the US elections for 2024, are we going to see those exact same things? Possibly. Right now, this is a huge shakeout, but we need to see who's actually going to win. Is Trump going to win? Because back in 2016, we saw that Bitcoin massively pump once he won in the 2016 election. But what happens if he wins in the 2024 election? Keep in mind, we haven't seen consolidation like Bitcoin hovering between 59 to 70,000 for 7 months. We've never seen that before in any cycle. So could we experience a massive pump after this, regardless of who wins in this year's election? We could, because we've been coiling up for so long to see an explosive upside at any moment in time. How long would it take for Bitcoin and also every other cryptocurrency, especially runes, to pump? Well, if you look at the amount of days in 2016, it took 54 days to see a massive pump. Now in 2020, 58 days. Could 2024 take up to 60 days on average to see Bitcoin reach $100,000? Well, if Bitcoin hits $100,000 per Bitcoin, every other altcoin, especially runes and especially Dog, is going to pump much harder. Now, this is tracing back the downs and the upsides of Dog. Look at the very first dump that we saw for Dog, the very first bearish trend. 21 days, we saw a negative 67% decrease. Then 20 days later, we saw a 440% increase. 61 days after that, we saw a downward trend. That took us 83% down. Then we saw a 40-day consolidation. Then we saw ourselves going from 200 million market cap to 600 million market cap, which was a 200% increase within 31 days. And now look at this, we're only 17 days in this downtrend, and that's only negative 48%. So let's get into the charting and analysis. Now, as you can see here, we are still forming a cup and handle. Remember, we predicted that we were going to hit a 350 million market cap as the lowest, and it even dipped as low in a flash crash to around 300 million market cap to 310, but slowly retraced. We saw a whole bunch of sharks and whales accumulate those bags in bid orders and in leverage trading. So we are slowly forming a cup and handle, and this is the handle pattern. Now look at this specific RSI, the relative strength index. Why are we paying attention to this? Now, what's really important about this is cycles. Now, what do we do when we breathe? We breathe out, we breathe in. The same thing happens with cycles. So what we're seeing here is an up and down cycle, a breathe in, breathe out. So we saw a pump into the market, a downside to the market, up, down, which means this could be the next up, which means it's another leg up to the upside. Right now, we're closely passing into the seller's market, but this could be a fake out and we could see another uptrend. But who knows? This is also determining what's going to happen in the next 24 hours for the elections. So for the elections, this is what I think could happen. We could actually see a liquidation event. Some people possibly could want to liquidize because maybe people think that this is going to be very bullish if Trump wins. So for me, if I were a leverage trader, I would place a short position. We would tank Bitcoin, it would tank the market, but that would just basically liquidize all the people that were longing Bitcoin, Dog, or runes, or whatever cryptocurrency, and it would liquidize those people. That means my bags would fill as a short leverage trader, but that doesn't mean Bitcoin, Dog wouldn't go back to the upside shortly after that. I think if we liquidize ourselves to the negative downside, if Bitcoin goes down and Dog goes down, then that means there's going to be another sharp uptrend because that would be a fake out. But then there's the second scenario where if Trump wins or whoever does win, doesn't really matter, we're still going to see a massive pump to the upside after tomorrow, or maybe after the first week. That could happen really quickly. So there are two different positive sides in my personal opinion. It's not just one downside, which is negative, one upside, which is positive. I think there are actually two positive sides. It's just that one of those positive sides is just going to dump and liquidize people. But I would not be tricked or faked out by that because BlackRock is going to buy the dip of Bitcoin. And that's very important. So this right now I see as a fake out, and it's going to potentially affect Dog as well. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, both on X and on YouTube, what you think is going to happen with the runes ecosystem, with Dog and with Bitcoin. But as always, I'm going to try to keep you updated as much as possible because right now Dog is performing quite well. So let's see what happens. I want to see what's going to happen in the charts, but in the next 24 hours, it's going to be very, very exciting. So if you like what you see and like what you heard, please like up that button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page and join us on X if you want to get all the alpha calls and trades regarding Dog, regarding the runes ecosystem, regarding Bitcoin. And I will see you guys and girls next time.